Now, the traditional interchangeable lens camera is the SLR camera. In the digital age, it's called a DSLR for digital single lens reflex. Now, single lens reflex cameras work in a very simple way. The light comes through the lens, it hits a mirror which is at 45 degrees, and the mirror reflects the light into the viewfinder so you can see what the lens is seeing. As you focus the lens, you see it come into focus in the viewfinder. These cameras have been around for donkey's years and are still the most popular kind of camera for the hobbyist photographer. But there now are some alternatives to this. The first kind of alternative to the DSLR is this, which looks like a DSLR, has interchangeable lenses, and to all intents and purposes is a DSLR, except that it's slightly different. Sony are the inventors of this, called a DSLT system, or digital single lens translucent. And the mirror in this camera, instead of flipping up out of the way to expose the sensor like a DSLR does, it's fixed. And because it's fixed, it doesn't flip or doesn't move, which means you can get very fast frame rates, and it means you get continuous autofocus even when shooting high frame rates. It also means you have to have an electronic viewfinder instead of an optical one. So the practical difference between a DSLT and a DSLR is really in that you have an electronic viewfinder instead of an optical one. And it means that you can also use the viewfinder for videoing, and you can get higher frame rates. So that's the advantages. Now, there are pretty much two formats of DSLR/DSLT. There's the ones with what we call the APS-C size sensor, and there's your full frame sensor used in the more professional cameras. This is Canon's flagship professional camera. This has a full frame sensor, which means it's 24 by 36 millimeters, which are the same dimensions as 35 millimeter film, whereas the sensor in these cameras is a little smaller. Now, the main benefit of a larger sensor is not only better image quality, but the ability to get shallow depth of field, and there are other benefits too. But obviously, as you can see, full frame cameras tend to be bigger than APS-C cameras and heavier and consequently more expensive. So really, if you don't know what a full frame camera is, you probably are not in the market for one, because this tends to be kind of a more serious camera. Not only the camera's more expensive, the lenses are more expensive too. So we've covered compact cameras with fixed lenses, and we've covered digital SLR cameras and SLT cameras. There's a category of camera in between, which is to bridge the gap between the SLR and the compact camera. It's supposed to offer the benefits of the image quality of digital SLRs, the interchangeable lenses of DSLRs, but more portable form factor like a compact camera. And this is called the compact system camera, or we call it the compact system camera. Some people call them interchangeable lens cameras or mirrorless cameras. There's no agreed name, but basically this is what they look like. And there are two types of compact system camera, those with a built-in viewfinder and those without. So we're just going to go briefly over what this is.